Okay. They call the name Papa Legba. I have no idea. All I know is this right here. I know what I've seen. I know as a kid the things that I've seen, and it really bothered me. It bothered me because I couldn't talk to anybody. My family knew that I could see things, but to them, that was just general common. That was just common to them. Listen, let me go back to Papa Legba, is the way y'all call it. Number one, they say that the crossroad of what Robert Johnson, you can Google it. If I show you my birth certificate, you'll see whose name is on there. But we're not going to go there. Robert Johnson, they say he went to the crossroad and he sold his soul. Now, there was a place when I was coming up, people used to come to our house. We had a juke joint. They would come to our house and they would buy stuff from the juke joint. And they would play the guitar. It was a whole bunch of cars used to be out in, and we had an old shotgun house. Everybody knew Big Six and Ollie Mae in Inverness. Okay, me and my dad going out to we had a little trot line set out in a little lake. It was called Lake Dawsey. Okay. Anybody from around Inverness, Illinois, Morehead should know about Lake Dawsey. It was an old raggedy bridge that you go across. We would go at night. We would set the trot lines. The trot lines was just a line with little hooks hanging down on other lines to catch catfish. We would bring those catfish. We would take them home. I would skin them, and then we would fry them up, and that's what we would make money on the weekend when the people are there buying what they was buying, playing the guitar and juking. Okay. Coming from the Lake Dawson one day. Now my dad had a reputation that he would always speak to anybody. Kids used to get left by the school bus. My dad would take them home. I knew my dad would take them home. He was like that. That was where my dad was. As we leaving Lake Dawson with the fish in the back of the truck, my dad would get to the crossroad. Well, I'm calling it the crossroad because that's what it was. Fields on all four corners. It was just a light pole back there, but nothing you could see for miles. There was a man standing up there, coming up to that crossroad on the inside road. He was standing up on that road. He had on a black suit. Now, I told this story before, but I'm getting to a point. He had on a black suit, which was odd on the Wednesday. It was through the week. That's what stood out. Because people they working. They're not. Anyway, he had his guitar on his back on the Wednesday. So as he was pulling, as my dad was pulling up, my dad didn't even look like he normally do. Hello, how you doing? Where you going? No, my dad kept driving. He kept his head straight. He didn't say a word. He just kept looking straight. Now he pulling up to the man, and I'm looking at the man. My dad would say, "Don't look at him." Then never did take his eye off the road. My dad took that right to go back toward Inverness. Well, you know how kids are. I had to look again. That man was not there. Now, I heard stories about they say, well, you go there and you wait for Papa Legba, and there's a place outside of Clarksdale. That might have been a place too. I don't know. But I know Clarksdale is around a lot of places where you got to spend money. They got stores, they got hotels, they got bars and stuff like that. The original crossroad, the one I know about, that's not it. Original one is outside Inverness, and I still know how to get there. Talk to my brother. Do you remember? Yeah, I remember. Now, that's one. When y'all see something, you see it. And I'm going to tell you something. Some people have said, Willie, what you got is a blessing and a curse. Myself, I've accepted. This is what I see. This is what it is. And I'm not trying to cover nothing up. I heard a young man talking about an angel. I saw one. I was so mad with God, I was just fussing at God. I was fussing at God because I'm like, Lord, I'm still doing bad stuff and you still using me. He was using me left and right. Everything God showed me was right. And I was getting madder and madder because, number one, I was doing some of everything. I didn't want to, Lord, not me, get somebody else. I was on the back porch and I was just talking. My mom, she's a minister, and she was in the kitchen cooking. She said, so you're giving up on God now? You're mad with God now, ain't you? I said, Mom, I'm tired of this now. That's all I said. Later on, a friend of mine came by from church. We walking to the store. I done told this story many times, and I'm going to keep on telling it. This man appeared out of nowhere. Y'all, I'm not talking about he's got a building. No, I'm talking about there's nothing around us. Nothing behind us, nothing around us, nothing in front of us. It was right at a cross where you cross over and it goes across the street. Nothing there. This man appeared just like that, out of nowhere. And when he appeared, he was standing not even 2 feet from me. He was standing on my side directly in front of me. My friend was standing on the other side right beside me. When this man started opening his mouth talking, I'm still looking at him, but his face, you ever seen somebody's face look like it's kind of, it don't have no oil, it's kind of, kind of dull, like no oil, hair. I can't remember his hair, but I remember him talking. I remember his skin. I remember the suit he had on. Well, I remember the coat he had on and the pants he had on was like something like, it was old stuff. It was like, just like an old pastor or something. Women just be looking, they wouldn't have no, they wouldn't want to talk to him because he's not looking the part. That's who appeared in front of us. When that man appeared, that man said, you are a chosen generation. I'm going to keep saying it. He said, you are a royal priesthood, a holy nation, a peculiar people. You are to show forth the praise of him who had called you out of darkness into his marvelous light. When that man spoke those words, it was so I was enveloped. Mike was too, my friend that was next to me. He couldn't stop moving. It was so much of power in that man's words. I only turned away for maybe 2 seconds. It's to look at Mike like that and look back. When I did this here and looked back, that man, when I turned and looked at Mike, Mike's face turned and looked at me. And we turned back, that man was gone. That man was gone. But I remember, when I was on the back porch hollering and talking to God and mad with him, I said, Lord, if this is what you're showing me, I need somebody with me as a witness. So I know that I'm not losing my mind. That's exactly what I said. So as he gone, and I'm looking for him, Mike looking for him, God stopped me in my tracks. He said, Willie, you said you want to have somebody with you next time when he said that, I did this. Like, oh my God. Now I'm trying to catch Mike. Because Mike is running around trying to, and I finally got some Mike. Mike, that was an angel. That was an angel, Mike. Stay tuned for part 2.